Hello, and welcome back to Lemans 24 Hours on the Dreamcast. It's been quite a while. It's been something like a month since we've been able to play this game. I apologise for that. I've just not been having the right amount of time to actually fit in a championship. Speaking of championships, the next championship we're on is the Super Enduro, which is why I've been holding it off. It's going to be something like maybe 2 hours long. So I've just not had the right sort of time slot to fit that in. But I believe I do now, so let's get on with it. Let's get going. Cars that we have to pick from. We have the V12 LMR from Test Drive 6, that's where I know it from anyway. Porsches, Lister, Porsche, Viper, 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 Viper. Quite a few Vipers there. Lister, the Riley and Scott, the LMP, R390. I would pick it, but I just drove it last time, I think, so we're not going to be picking that one. I want to stick to what I know. I've not driven the Paynos yet, but in the past, Paynos has disliked me somewhat in this game for some reason, so I'm not picking the Paynos. Where is it? That's the one. We were talking about it in the last video, I believe, driving the sort of Shiro coloured GTC competition McLaren F1, and that's what I'm going to pick, because I quite like them. So off we go. Keeping us on intermediate, my name is Shiro, and we have started off with Suzuka GP, 10 laps. The weather is somewhat changeable. So what I'm going to do is stick us on intermediate tyres because we're not quite sure. It's the only option I can do. I'll keep myself on max fuel because why not? It will make a difference in weight, but not too much. And we're off. So 5 rounds, 10 laps, so we have potentially 50 laps to go. So strap in, folks. It's going to be a somewhat long one. Rain! Oh no, I should have picked the wets. Oh well. Alright, we are off. Now, I did do a bit of practice before I started, but I didn't practice in the rain, so we'll have to see how this goes. I don't quite remember the differences between the surfaces in this game. I don't know whether it affected things or not. I've got intermediates on, so I should be somewhat good, but we'll find out. Certainly won't be too difficult, I don't think. So yeah, keeping it on medium difficulty, and as I mentioned beforehand, this is the second attempt I've had at this championship. First attempt was at hard mode, but Paynos decided to shove me off during a couple of the races, and I got a bit bored of that, so I've decided to just drop it down to the difficulty we were at. I tried. It's okay. Let's see if we can get past this group of Vipers and make our way to the hairpin. Very good. Lovely. I don't think I've ever seen Suzuka this wet in a racing game. Like, not even in Gran Turismo. I think does Gran Turismo even do like wet, rainy circuits? I'm not sure. Yeah, I've never seen Suzuka this wet before, so I'll have to deal with that one. Who have we got up ahead? We've got quite a pack up ahead, and then a couple of them are breaking away. He's going for an overtake on the outside, but that's going to be fun, because we're just coming up to that little kink, which is sort of like a dual dare kink. There's a Paynos trying to get past. So we've got R390 to our right, and we've got the 2 Paynoses in front of us. Let's see if we can squeeze past him. And see if we can get past the Paynos. There is the roller coaster and the Ferris wheel. What I didn't realise, which I've actually done some looking into now, is that Suzuka has a sort of a theme park to it. I mean, it seems obvious now that it's got both a roller coaster and a a Ferris wheel on the side seems quite obvious, but I never realised it has a theme park next to it. I can't quite remember its name now, but I do know the name of that coaster, and I think it's the Mad Cobra, which was discontinued in 2004? If I'm wrong, I will have put an annotation below. But yeah, I think it was discontinued. I think it's the yellow coaster anyway. Can't really tell because of the rain. But yeah, I never realised that. And I think it's the same coaster that... Sorry, McLaren. I think it's the same coaster that appears in Gran Turismo as well, because it's about the same type of year. So yeah, there's actually quite a few roller coasters at that theme park over time. There's been at least 5 or 6, I think, with the current one still operating. They've been in and out of operation. But yeah, that could be a fun thing to visit if I ever go to Japan. See if I can go to the Suzuka Circuit theme park as well as visit the track. That would be interesting. Anyway, we're up to P3 now. Coming onto the back straight. Nearly called it the Bugatti straight. I still make that mistake. It's hilarious, I know. Stupid. Come on to the little kink here. We've got both blue R390s fighting for position here. Get the brakes. Go up the inside of one of them. Nope, you shut the door. So righty, I don't really have to get past them right now. Honestly, the weather hasn't really affected it too badly. I think it's been alright so far. Of course, we're only a couple of laps in. But yeah, I don't think the weather's doing too bad. They're not doing too badly on intermediates as opposed to wet tyres. These two are going to fight each other into attrition. And I'm going to fly past on the inside. And there we go. Lovely. I'm not through with them yet though. I can still hear the engines, so they're still quite close. Say I'm not the best at Suzuka. I'm not the best at any of the courses in this game really. Suzuka's one that I know quite well from Gran Turismo, but there are different variations between games, and games honestly feel different. Like the handling in this game is different. I'd say the cars are a lot more not wobbly, but they're a lot slower to react. It's one of those games where your turning takes a while to actually be applied, not because of input lag, but just because of just how the game handles its turning. It sort of gradually applies it. Bit of a random point there. Anyway, we are in first. We've got about just over half a tank of fuel. We'll be pitting around. I'll try and last to lap 5 because then we'll only have to pit once. I wish I could have given myself more fuel, but you know, it's just how things are. I can't overfill the fuel to 120% or something like that. It'd be a bit catastrophic. I wonder if this rain's going to let off. I'm wondering if I read the prediction of weather wrong on that interface, to be honest. Because it was rainy right at the start, so I don't think it was. I don't think that indicator indicates that sort of like a shift in the weather. I think it indicates just straight rain. But I didn't think about that. Never mind. A little bit of a gap now, 5-second lead, which is good because I just ran off into the grass. So I'll try and keep that lead if I can. I don't think anyone's going to pit in quite yet. If they do, they're looking to do a 2-pitter. See if any of those dots stop as they go through. They are not, so those guys aren't pitting. Yeah, we should be okay so far for this race. I'm up on my time. Now's the time where we start looking towards setting a nice lap if we can. Yeah, the McLaren feels quite good. It used to be one of my favourite supercars. I remember an old supercars book that I had back when I was a kid that had the McLaren F1 itself on the front, not the long tail, but it had the McLaren F1 on the front cover. I think it was called The Big Book of Supercars or something like that. I'll see if I can have a look if I can find that in the attic or something. Maybe post a few pictures of it on Twitter for nostalgic purposes. But yeah, this used to be one of my favourite supercars. These days I quite like the Bugatti EB110, because it's just how it looks uniquely, because of its unique looks. But yeah, back in the day I used to really love the McLaren F1. I used to use it a lot in, what's it called? Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, yes. That's the game. 153.3, that's not bad. But yeah, Hot Pursuit was, I played hours of Hot Pursuit playing as the McLaren F1. Going off in the grass there, sorry. But yeah, that's a great game. I need to get some of that on the channel, most definitely. Love that game. Yeah, focusing back on this, we're currently on the Dreamcast, yes. We're currently on Lemans 24 Hours. Halfway through now. Don't think anyone's pitted yet. No wait, no, I'm wrong. The group that's on the start line right now has pitted. I'll be pitting on, judging by the fuel, I can probably do another lap, which is quite good. These races aren't quite as long as the previous championship, thankfully. The previous championship was something like 15 laps per race, which was a little bit much. Sure, there was only 3 races, but it did add up. This championship's going to be slightly longer, with 50 laps spread over 5 races. I assume anyway, unless it changes the amount of laps as we go through, but that's unlikely. But yeah, this one's going to be slightly longer. But having 15 laps on one track sort of just, you ended up pitting twice, maybe 3 times, depending on your luck, depending on how you are with fuel. Yeah, we'll do one more lap on this set of fuel, I think. I think it's going to stay rainy the whole way through, sadly. I'll swap it to wet tyres for the next segment. We've got time to do so. Got 20 seconds of the lead at the moment, which is quite nice. Is that our first back marker? Yes it is, okay. We have someone to race with. Should be fun. Going back to what I was talking about with the McLaren, the Bugatti, I failed to mention one of my absolute favourite supercars, which no one even knows, which is the Mitsuoka Orochi, which you've probably seen in the Gran Turismo Pro series I did a while back. If you want to know what that car is, I'd suggest going through that series, or I think it's episode 33, where I actually unlocked the car. This was before I was doing VTuber stuff though, so you won't hear my terrible voice. But yeah, you never see that car in games, at least ones that were brought overseas. The Orochi seems to evade our galleries of cars. There's the fuel low, so we'll be pitting in this time. Let's see if I can get past this this Porsche. Sorry, it's very hard to keep the space, and the AI likes to start wiggling around when you're choking them into the side, as it were, so it makes it even harder to sort of keep the gap between cars. We're down on our lap time, so it doesn't matter anyway, we're pitting in this time around. Let's get ourselves into line. So there's the pit line, and hit the brakes, get it down here. Very easy to miss, personally. I always expect it to be after the chicane, and I think it is after the chicane on Gran Turismo. Yeah, we'll give it 90. I could have probably gotten away with 80, and there's very little difference between 90 and 100, but it's something. But yeah, I'm just not 100% sure of the fuel counts. I probably should have gone for 80 actually. Never mind, I've done it now. It's not too much of a problem. Just noticed that the tyre company, the tyre sponsorship on the side is Infogrames, which is the makers of the game. I'm pretty sure Infogrames don't make tyres, but you know, that's just where you've put yourself, I guess. think other games like to put their make on the car tires as well. I can't think of one right now off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure that's been done before. Infogrames I know specifically for V-Rally 2. That's definitely the game I think of when I see that logo. The little armadillo, I think it is. Yeah, I always think of V-Rally 2. Oh, and Asterix. Yeah, and Asterix and Obelix on the PlayStation 1. They did that as well. Infogrames did a lot of games, thinking about it. Well, they published a lot of games. Were they the company or were they the publisher? I can't remember now. My brain's gone. We've reached that point already. Never mind. See if I can keep an eye on those that are chasing us now. I believe it's the group of dots directly behind us on the map. It's hard to tell now because I pitted in and a group of people have pitted in already. So it's hard to tell quite which group of cars is the group that's after me. But we've got 30 seconds, we're fine. Should be easy. This rain is not going to go away. You can see the car sort of carving through the water. There's a big gash coming over in the water behind as the tyres carve through it. Is that some back markers to play with again? I think that's going to be the group of Porsches that we took over last lap. Sugar. Got that one a bit too much, but never mind. The dirt did not eat us, thankfully. Yeah, we can see the tail lights there. We've got a group of cars to overtake now, which is going to mess up my lap time, sadly, but oh well. I think I've set a nice one anyway, 153.3. That one was quite good. That was before we pitted in the first time. I say the first time, we'll only be pitting in one time, I think, for this race. We should only be pitting in one time per race, I think, because Suzuka GP, as opposed to Sugar, try and get around it. Aside from the Sark itself, Suzuka GP is the second longest circuit in this game. I lost turning there. So if we do go to the Sark, we might be pitting twice, but otherwise we'll likely pitting once per race. Get past this group of Porsches. That was the hairpin. Bit loud. There was a bit of a coming together. See if I can catch up to this one. Is this one a Porsche as well? No idea. Is that all the Porsches near the back? Yes, this is a Porsche. See if I can. Sugar. Didn't expect it to brake there. Thought he was going slow enough to make it. We'll go around the outside of them. And now we've got a bit of a gap to actually work with. A bit of clean air so I can actually set a time. And for some reason we're up on ourselves despite being down on the first sector. Are we going to get a better lap time? No idea. Find out. Get through there. Round the final corner, past the Ferris wheel, and we get a 52.7. We did beat it. And since the first time was red, since the first sector was red, that means I can improve it even more if I'm good. We'll see though. I don't have too much confidence. I've got confidence with the car, but you know, it's still wet. It's still not a dry track by any means necessary, so I kind of doubt that Sugar, we're not going to improve now. I kind of doubt I'm going to get my best time whilst we're in a wet circuit, and I could easily spin out. It could happen. You know, it's wet. It could be specific patches. Somehow that's still up on my time despite the little track excursion. A bit weird, but I'll go with it. Catching up to someone else now. This is the second group. I wonder if it's the Pain-Nose Eye. I think I ask this question every video, but what is the plural of Pain-Nose? Or Pain-Noses, or whatever. What is the plural? Someone let me know. Because I don't know it. think we're catching up to one of the Audis anyway. Forgot that I've got a coffee to my right. I'll have a sip of that once we finish the race, because my throat's getting a little bit dry. Talking too much during the race, how dare I? Is this one of the Vipers, actually? Yes. Yeah, this is one of the Vipers. Hit the brakes. See if I can... Sugar. He's badly placed for that. He's ran off of his own accord, though. I didn't do that. Oh well. Wasn't me. And that's a 52.7 again, but slightly quicker. Must have been like 0.0 something quicker. See if I can get past these two Vipers. This means I'm not going to make my final lap count, sadly. Squeeze past. No, I went on the dirt. Nope. That wasn't me. See if I can get past on the inside here. He's not going to give me the space. Just about. They should really be yielding to me. I am first place and they are backmarkers, so technically they should be giving me space, but I guess not. Sadly, that means I did not get a clean lap in my wet tyres in order to set a nice lap time. But oh well. Oh well. It's not about fast lap times really, it's just about surviving on the circuit and lasting till the finish. And we have lasted the whole way through. That's only one race, we've got 4 more to go. Be okay though, fine. Yeah, and this one, not really where the apex is, but oh well. I do think this is a good looking car. Starting to like the McLaren F1 again. It feels quite good to drive as well. I like the speed tail, just for how elongated it is. I like how long the speed tail is. It looks so sleek and cool. I do like that. That'd be a Hot Wheels car that I need to get at some point. Anyway, found the last corner, and there is the finish. 1:49.6, so we did beat the time. Nice. Right, that's earned a sip of coffee, I think. Good start. Lovely. Lovely. First one done. just a beam of light there. Can't tell anything from that. Just a big group of headlights. That's the first one done. Lovely. So it was the twin R390s which got second and third. And our next venue is Brno. 10 laps at Brno. And that is the logo I was thinking of. So that is sunny to rainy, so we're not sure. So we'll keep it on intermediates. And we'll start from the back. And off we go. Slightly shorter track than Suzuka Full. So we'll be pitting around 6, maybe 7, we'll see. It's slightly rainy for this one, not quite as rainy as previous. There we go, get a nice start. You might have noticed that I used the shoulder button for that one instead of the accelerator. I'll explain that in a bit once we're past the field. The Vipers don't seem to be much of a problem. And thankfully Brno is quite a wide circuit, so I can think about placing myself on different points of the track without losing too much speed. Yeah, we're not quite carving through the water, but there is some water on the track, so intermediates will have been the right choice. We'll see if we can catch up to the group ahead. We've got the green R390. And then the two blues, and the black McLaren is in front of those this time. No wait, that's the Paynoses. Yeah. It's those guys. R390 does not want to give me a gap. Let's go here. Ah, it's this theme. To be honest, this is the song that's sticking with me the most in this game. Makes me think most of this game anyway. It's sort of like a bit of a stressful section to the theme in this song. It goes off after a bit, but it just sounds quite stressful, this bit. There goes the code. The Paynos forced me into that. I didn't do that. It wasn't my fault. Please don't give me a penalty for that. We'll see how the Paynos behaves, because usually they try to kill me at this corner, but they didn't this time, thankfully. I got past the Paynos without any injuries. And we'll get past this one. Lovely. We actually navigated the Paynos without them trying to kill me, or double team me, or whatever they do normally. Past the black McLaren. Weird how there's 15 entrants and not a round number. Generally games like to do round numbers for their entrances in races, but to be honest, Le Mans 24 Hours so far has just kept on giving me odd numbers. It's like in big races on the South, I think it gives me 23 entrants. It's a bit weird. Which is a lot of entrants, really. Remember, Gran Turismo could only do 6 entrants, but that's the difference in graphics, I guess. There was that much visibly going on in that game that it made a lot of a difference to the amount of cars we could run. To be honest, I would have liked more cars running in Gran Turismo. It would have been nice. Get past the blue R390 and not look where I was going and end up letting him go past again. No, he didn't go past actually, he stayed out. I thought for certain he would have got past them, but never mind. There we go, that's the front of the field, lovely. But yeah, I would have liked a few more opponents in Gran Turismo races. I know that you can modify Gran Turismo 1 to have up to 13 races, but it sort of gets a bit funny. It gets a bit laggy and the cars sort of start cloning themselves, because instead of thinking of new races, it just sort of clones some of the other ones and darkens the colour. Not sure why it does that, to be honest. It's a bit of an odd quirk, but it does mean there's more races, so it makes the races a bit more interesting. Not tried that one myself. I'd like to do a video on that, to be honest, but I think it's Game Shark codes or something, I'm not sure. It's not a normal cheat code anyway, it's not a code entry thing. I need to go back to GT Hi-Fi mode as well and get a nice smooth recording of that. So that's quite a nice thing. I was blown away by that when I was a kid. Seeing 60 frames per second on a PlayStation 1, that felt really nice. Anyway, I'm rambling about the wrong game here. Let's go back to our 24 hours. Oh yeah, the shoulder button thing. I'll explain that now. So yeah, when I started this race, I was using the shoulder button to accelerate, but only for a bit. I swapped back to the face buttons soon after that, and that is because at the start of the race you can spin. Wow, I nearly span as I said spin. Yeah, you can spin the wheels off the start line if you just accelerate with the X button, or the A button with a Dreamcast controller, sorry. Yeah, with the face buttons you can just spin your tyres at the start, so I apply a little bit of acceleration via the shoulder and then swap to the X button once, A button again, sorry. I swap to the face buttons whilst once we're up to speed. I did try and do races on this game with the shoulder buttons, because whilst I've had my somewhat break from this game, I was trying to learn how to use the shoulder buttons in simulation games more. If you're following me on Twitter, you will have seen various clips of games that I've been playing recently. One being Richard Burns Rally, which needs the shoulder buttons really for the variable acceleration and braking. Really enjoy that game, and I'm hoping to get to a point where I can actually start entering some online rallies and do videos on that. I'm not quite at a point where I'd say I'm confident with the game yet. I generally can't do a single stage without crashing out without a lot of practice beforehand. So doing a rally where you only get one chance, or else you're sort of out of contention, it's a bit pressuring to sort of like get the course correct and fast at the same time, but I'm really loving the game. But yeah, that's why I've been trying to learn how to use the shoulder buttons. But they don't really work on this game. This game has support for them. They are bound by default. The face buttons are bound as well by default, which is a bit weird. You can accelerate with both at the same time if you want. I doubt that increases the speed. No, doesn't seem to. But yeah, you can use both at once if you want to for the sake of it. But yeah, I did try and use shoulder buttons with this game, but they just don't feel as natural with this one. We have now gone to more serious rain as well, so I will swap to the wet tyres, I think, by some point. But yeah, I feel as though this game doesn't apply its inputs as harshly, as suddenly as Richard Burns or other games that I've been trying to learn shoulder buttons with. So yeah, I'll leave them off for this one. Generally, if it's an arcade game, I'll try and use the face buttons, and if it's a simulation game, I will try and use the shoulders. But in this one, it's sort of not really worked personally for me. So I'll stick with what we've been doing. I'll be using the face buttons for this one. We're going to catch up with our first back marker. I think someone already pitted. Surely this guy's already pitted, because he is miles from everyone else. I'd have to look back and check, but we are on lap 5. For me anyway, he'd still be on lap 4. But yeah, I think he might have pitted, because he's the only one this far back, unless he had a spin or something. I'd have to look back at the recording to check that. Yeah, I can see his lights now. We are definitely getting thicker in the way of rain. Thicker. More prominent in rain. We're not quite carving through the floor yet in terms of rain, but it's definitely going to get to that at some point soon. That's interesting, really, because that means that this game has variable, like, not just variable grip on the floor, depending on the rain count, but also it means that the floor visually changes by having us carving through the water. Currently we're just sort of streaming through it. Yeah, you definitely pitted, didn't you? You're all by yourself. Let's see if I can get through him, past him somewhat cleanly, not through him. Through him would not be cleanly, through him would be throwing him off to the side. I think we can muster one more lap out of this bucket of fuel, as it were. Bucket. Out of this tank of fuel, I mean. Bucket. Come around this corner. Yeah, we can do one more lap. Everyone else is pitted in. There's a big gathering of red lights over there in the pit lane. We've gone past most of them, but we're going to have to navigate this car, which is one of the Vipers. So we'll squeeze past him on the outside. Thank you. The lights are so bright in this game. Now we're carving through the water. So now the amount of water on the track has come to the point where it's quite a lot of water. That's okay though, it's livable. Doesn't seem to make a huge amount of difference to the car's handling, but that will again be because I've got the right tyres on. Well, I've got intermediates on, not wets, but that's okay. Fine. Bit of a race by ourselves for a bit now, whilst we catch up with the rest of the back markers. In fact, we won't, because we'll be pitting in, won't we? Yes. So ignore those 2 dots up ahead, but are by themselves. We won't be catching them. Not yet, anyway. The other group has pitted in, and that is the group that's actually chasing me. So they've pitted in on lap 5 to 6, and I'll be pitting in on lap 6 to 7, so this one. We're going to get the fuel low any second now, I think. We're miles out of hitting those cones. I won't be hitting those anytime soon. Hopefully not in this race anyway. We have already knocked one over, but that was the Paynose's fault. It wasn't me. I was forced over. The Paynos hate me. think it's just because I haven't raced as them yet. Maybe I'll race as a Paynos in the next championship. So we'll roll into here. I'll change it to wet. I'm going to refuel to about 80, and I shall refuel myself with coffee. Yep, get them tyres on. Don't know who's actually refueling me, there's no actual pit crew. Bit of a worry. I've got some ghosts working on my cars, well, we'll ignore that. There goes one of the Porsches, so we'll have to navigate some back markers now. Ooh, why are you braking there? Ow. Why I was braking right in the second half of the corner, but oh well. Let's see if we can get past the Viper without too much trouble. Go down the outside. And we'll try and go past this one as well. I think either people have picked the wrong tyres or we're just driving slow for the sake of it. Or we're not too convinced by the weather. I don't mind, I'm in the wets, I'm fine. I've got my wellies on. With wet tyres constitute as Wellingtons? I think so. Catch up to the other Viper and get past them on the inside, and there we go, that's that large group of cars dealt with. A lot harder to see where the actual course is going because of the fog. Not distance fog, though, it's literally just, this is the weather at the moment. It's currently foggy and rainy, and honestly, they'd probably cancel a race when it gets this far. I don't know. They'd certainly cancel the next championship, by premise of the title anyway. The next championship is the snow endurance one, which is the whole point of why I've been doing this series, to be honest, because I want to see what this game does when it puts snow on the circuit. Because you wouldn't race the Le Mans cars in snow. You wouldn't do the Le Mans 24 hours when it's snowing, would you? So I can't imagine why that's an option for a championship. I guess the developers were like, hey, how can we end off this series of championships with an interesting note? I know, let's do some snowy circuits. Let's go back to the V-Rally 2 days and put snow all over the track. But yeah, these are not all-terrain vehicles, so rally vehicles anyway, so I don't think they'll really be very suited, but we'll find that out when we get there. But now we're setting a nice lap time here. See if I can get under my 149. No idea really. Sugar, I'm not going to do it if I spin out. Thankfully a quick dab on the brakes and a turn in the other direction did solve that. I wasn't sure. Worried I wasn't just going to jink the car in the other direction, but thankfully it did not happen. Yeah, these tyres should be the best for this circuit at the moment, so that should aid me in getting the time, because we are definitely on a... Whoa! Why did that happen? Never mind, next lap. How are we still up on time? I just span out. How am I still up on my time? I must have been doing terrible. Well, there's definitely time to be found then if spinning out and going off course is still better than my time in the previous lap. That's crazy. I don't know why I span out then. That's kind of annoying. Didn't do a full spin though, thankfully. Yeah, 185. 485, well, you know. Odd. But we'll see if I can improve that any further and not spin out entirely. Feel like a bit of a fool now, but oh well. Just talking about decent lap times and then I end up spinning the car out. Thankfully wasn't a full spin. We haven't spanned yet this episode, but there's still 31 laps to go on various circuits, so there's still plenty of time to slip up. Better. I think where it was that I nearly fell off course. really too sure where it was now. And I would have set an even better time when it was dry. Not dry, but sort of like mid-wet. But I don't know if intermediates on middle wet is better than wets on a wet circuit. I don't know if that's better combination-wise. All depends on how this game works, how accurate this game is. No idea, really. And this is definitely a simulation game, but personally it feels quite arcadey, which is why I've sort of stuck to the face buttons with it. I should try Gran Turismo with the shoulder buttons. I'm pretty sure I played it with the face buttons when I was a kid, but I didn't really know the value of different levels of acceleration and braking when I was a kid. I didn't know the difference, didn't occur to me that you could spin out or not spin out. 143.3, wow, we nearly hit the record. Ooh, okay then, but I don't know where I can improve. Not by doing that. Yeah, we nearly hit the record. And it's in the wet. Interesting. So, what does that tell me? Well, there goes that one. I can't improve it now. I mean, is that record a wet record, or is it a dry record? Or is it just, in general, just a record set on this course and it doesn't matter which, what the weather condition is? Last lap, by the way, I completely forgot. I lost track. I'll get past the green R390. I kind of like it in green. I prefer it in blue, obviously, but I like it in green. These guys are now lapping each other now, because that guy was the last place guy, and now this group is in front of him, so he's about 2 laps behind now, sadly. Sorry, mate. See if I can catch up to this other one before we make it to the finish. We're not improving this time, sadly. But yeah, I was very close to the record then, that's quite interesting. So, maybe once we're finally driving in the GT1, which we do have unlocked, but it hasn't given us the opportunity yet. Whoa! Hey Nose, did you have a problem? Did you spin out? See if I can get the other one right before the finish. Oh, no, not quite. Good race. Lovely. Lovely. Enjoyed that one. I believe we nearly got the record. But yeah, once we're finally driving in the GT1, maybe we will be able to get a record of some kind. Righty. So that is race 2. Clap my fingers because they've gone a bit stiff. And it was the twin Nissans which came second and third again. But they must have swapped places because they've got equal points. That's alright. Where are we going next? Bugatti. Ah, this is where I was practicing. Right. So it should be okay here. This is the one with that kink in the road that I can never quite remember where it goes because there's no runoff area on the sides. Right, let's get going. 10 laps of Bugatti. Yeah, there's just one chicane on this course which doesn't have any bumpers on the inside and outside. But I think I've figured out where to brake for it. You brake it at the 100-meter marker. At least with this car. I don't know. So we'll accelerate with the shoulder and then swap to the X. I mean the A. I keep forgetting. I'm so used to holding a PlayStation controller. Even though this is a different controller, I keep forgetting that they have different names. Never mind. So, first bit of this course is the south. Whoa, don't spin me around, mate. Get off. Too many vipers. Too many snakes on this course. Oh no, it's starting to drip. It's starting to rain. Oof, and that's not how you take that corner. Completely ate the grass. But yeah, we've got a little bit of rain coming. I think we've had rain every race so far. Very rainy championship. Very British championship. But yeah, this isn't the corner. It's a little bit later on. It's the little kink on the straight going down this course here. Yeah, there's just no markings on the inside and outside of it, but I think you brake at about the 100 meter board. There's 300. There's 200. There's 100. No, I can brake a bit later than that, actually. Try braking just as the board disappears out of view. At least I didn't fly off the circuit, though. That's more important. Braking early is better than braking late. Learned that one. Very thin course the Bugatti circuit is, in comparison to the previous one anyway, at Bruno. Pass on the inside here. Maybe? I am on the inside, yeah, got it, lovely. Get back into slipstream and see if we can get past the black McLaren. He's going here. No, he's gone up the inside and then he's had a bit of an accident by himself. Hit the brakes a little bit late and then go around the outside of the Panos. So there's a Ferris wheel here as well. Is there a theme park here at Sarth as well? I'm discovering all of these theme parks at racetracks that I wasn't really aware of. It seems obvious with them having amusements here, but I don't know. Is there a theme park at Le Mans? Probably is. Squeeze past. Thank you. There's got to be something to keep the kids entertained. Then again, I'd be entertained by the race, definitely, even as a child. Love this stuff. Only race I've ever really been to is this sort of, no, I've been to a couple of racing events actually. I think I've been to a banger racing event with my dad once, for my, what was it, like 18th I think? I can't remember, it was my 17th or my 18th birthday. We went to a banger racing event, and that was really fun. I loved walking around the pit area, just looking at the cars, to be honest. All bashed up after the race. Yeah, that was fun. Bit of demolition derby, but in real life. It's very brutal in real life. It's a lot easier to do it in the game. Yeah. And then I went to an event. Ooh, where was it now? I can't actually remember where it was, but it was a nice circuit. They were racing, I think it was a Lotus Elise race or something, or some sort of open-top sports car sort of thing. And again, there was a nice pit area full of sort of like that sort of level of prototype cars. So not prototypes like Le Mans prototypes, but sort of like little one-seater prototype cars. Like, I cannot get past this guy. He doesn't like me. Doesn't want me to give me the lead. I can get past. Yeah, I remember that. I remember both those events quite well. I just don't remember where the other one was. I'll have to look it up. Still got a little bit of rain. It's threatening. For now, I'll keep it on intermediates. But if it gets any worse, then I will drop down to the wet tyres. That's still a little bit early for braking there. I was only dabbing it. But again, better that I brake early rather than late on that corner. Because if I go off late, well, if I brake late, I'll go off. Because I'm not very confident with that one because there's no bumpers on the inside of it. I don't know why it's like that, really. A bit wide there, dancing over the bumpers on the side. Let's try and avoid doing that. 38.5. I doubt we're going to get it to 32 here. I might have nearly got it on the previous circuit, but I don't know where I can find 6.5 seconds. You never know. Maybe it'll go to full rain, and we'll get the wet tyres out, and we'll suddenly become really good at this. I don't know why the wet tyres in wet weather is actually amazing, but for some reason it is. Ironically, more grip than dry tyres at the dry, which is definitely not how that works. Not sure how I'm down on my time now when I had when I've got no cars in my way. Oh well. Hit the brakes back here. Make it round this hairpin. It's a funny course really, with like a triple hairpin section there. But it's quite good. I quite like this course. I don't think I've raced it in any other game. So it makes for something unique in this game for me at least. To be honest, a lot of these circuits are very new to me in terms of this game. Other than Suzuka and the South, none of these circuits appear in Gran Turismo. And other games that I've played, Sugar, it's a bit too wide again. Other games I've played don't really feature them either. I think some of these races feature in Toka, but I didn't play too much Toka. I could never get used to the amount of grip there was in Toka 1, and the following Toka games I didn't own, so I sort of dropped that series early on as a child, because I just could not get used to the amount of grip. I did like Toka. I like the idea of it in general. The British Touring Car Championship, as it were. I need to do some videos on that. It'd be nice to do a championship of it, and nowadays maybe I can actually get used to the amount of grip that you get in that game, because I'm a little better at driving cars, I hope. At my age, I hope I'm better than I was when I was like, I don't know how old I was, like 12, 13, something like that, I don't know, early mid-teens. Right, so the rain has actually kicked in now. We're not at the point where we're streaming through the wet yet, but it's definitely getting there. We're about halfway through the race, so I should predict if it goes the way that it's going, if it continues getting wetter, we will be carving through the rain by the end of this one, I should think. Group of cars have fitted in, presumably to swap to wet tyres. Technically I should as well, but I'll give it one more lap, because I've got the right amount of fuel and we're not desperate, you know. Then again, I could swap to wet and then be better set up when it comes and get better lap time, never mind. I'll pit this time around. Pit this time around. I'll have to do some research and see if there's actually a theme park here, because that Ferris wheel is now bothering me as well. Or has that one become defunct in recent years too? Defunct land. Never mind. I'll have to look up the name of the Suzuka one. Yeah, it's definitely getting a bit rainy now. I started seeing the spray on the circuit. We've gone past that group of cars that fitted in quite cleanly, thankfully. None of them actually interrupted us, which is nice. We are on for a better lap time, but I'm going to have to sacrifice it for the sake of changing tyres. We're definitely getting to that wet point. I'm struggling to see the braking boards for this course now, which is a little unfortunate. Yeah, we're on for a better time overall, which is unfortunate because I'm going to have to drop it. We go in here? Yes, we do. We go in here. Oh, that's very tight. Blimey. Never mind. So we'll change to wet and we'll refuel to 80. And I will have the last of my coffee. Actually, I'll save myself a bit. Ugh. Coffee is quite cold now, but that's something you get used to as well in my country. You get used to forgetting coffee, or not having the opportunity to drink it, and then downing the whole thing in its lukewarm state, which is disgusting, but at the same time I'm actually used to that taste. Okay, so 80 fuel, wet tyres, lap 8, and off we go. No, lap 7 rather, sorry. Very close to the wall there. I had no control over the car at that point, so I don't know why it led me out that far to a wall. Well, I got stuck. In fact, I even heard a scrape, so we definitely touched the wall. Right. Right, so fresh tyres. These are going to be somewhat cold. That's the Viper. And now we are actually carving through the water. So we have actually got to the point where the water is that heavy that it's actually making a trail on the floor behind us. So we are at max wet. 3 wet races so far. I'll be very surprised if the next one's dry. To get used to driving in dry conditions again. That was a bit of a weave, but we did it. It was kind of risky. Just about made that one. Get past this Viper, and I believe that's the other Viper. Like 3 Vipers that are all the same colour. No, that's a Porsche. Yeah, there's 3 Vipers that I can pick from at least, which are all the same colour, just have differing numbers on them. It's a bit cheap, really, for this game, just saying, hey, here's a new car, and it's the same car, but with the number 30 instead of number 31 or number 32. But I guess it's so you can drive as your favourite car specifically. Like, if you really like the 32 Viper, it's in here specifically. Right, let's see if I can set a nice couple of laps now to end off this race. Hopefully I can. I doubt I'll get to the record though. That was a very funny entrance there. To be honest, it was incorrect, but not much I can do about that now. I've already done it. It's getting so foggy that I almost go straight into that bollard at the end of that first hairpin that divides this course off from the south. Yeah, so I don't really want to do that. It's getting that foggy that I start to forget that I'm not going that way. Let's avoid that. Up on my time, which is good. So hopefully we'll get a little bit closer to the record, but I won't hit it this time. Those records are generally in racing games, generally in games in general, the record is somewhat quite easy to hit. I mean, in Ridge Racer, wow, we're going to Ridge Racer now, but generally it's just a mix of 765 at the end, because that's just their favourite number. So you can usually beat the lap time on Ridge Racer titles, and then in other games it's usually rounded to the next minute, so it gives the player the opportunity to set a nice lap time. 1:35.7, we're closer, nice. But yeah, generally racing games let you beat the track record and give the player the opportunity to be on the ranking quite easily, and that means that the ranking can be dominated by player and friends and family and whatever, whoever picks up the game, so that they can fill up the rankings rather than the AI having all the rankings. I suppose it's something that comes from, I don't know, from the arcades, having time trial rankings on there and whatever. But again, the default times would be possible to beat on arcade titles, so that eventually the leaderboard is filled up by people who played the game, which is just better, really, in my opinion. But I believe the record is specifically 132 on this track, because, well, that'll be rounded to the closest second, so it'll still be beatable. But at the same time, I think you unlock a car when you beat the records on every track, which is why it's placed that high. Because it's no mean feat being given a car for free for beating a time trial time, so they've got to make you work for it. I won't be setting that best lap this lap anyway. I seem to be down on all my times, but I will blame rambling. But yeah, I think there's a car for each track that you can get. Wow, that was a best lap time. Interesting. But yeah, I think there's a car for each track that you can earn based on beating the time trial times, which is quite nice. It's another way of unlocking a car. I think other games do that. So it's okay having a extended record, as it were. just makes it a bit awkward if you were setting times that end up having a name at the end. So it's like only the odd person's going to beat those times, namely me at this point. But I'm not beating them at the moment. I think it's the 100-meter board on that corner as well, interestingly enough. Oh yeah, last lap. I rambled too much and ended up coming to the end of the race. That's good though. At least I'm managing to fill the race with rambling, and I'm not going too blank anyway. But up on my time, so maybe I'll take a good lap for my last lap. We're not going to catch any back markers, so we're not going to have any interruptions of that course. Of course, I could just spin out by myself, but hopefully the curse of the commentator will not kick in, and I'm not going to do that right at the end. It would be embarrassing. Oh dear. So we'll get around this last section, hit the brakes around here, hit that apex, and this should be a better time? Yeah, lovely. 34.6, and there we go, that's race 3 complete. In the pouring rain, again. And now I'll finish my coffee. Lovely. It's nice and dry at the start, it definitely turned. Okay, so where'd everyone finish with that one? Have a look. Is it the twin Nissans? It is, again. So the twin Nissans come second and third again, followed by the Paynos. Puts those at 16 and 14 points. Okay, so where are we going next? Next is Donington, the 10-lapper. Workshop, we're still on intermediate, so that's fine. So let's get going. Race 4 of 5. Just check my recording. Yep, we're still going. About an hour in now. Lovely. And this is Donington Full, not the one with the little bit of dirt in the middle. Let's go past that Porsche. Wasn't sure where it was going because it started wiggling. I'll lay off the accelerator for now because there's not really much of a gap. You braked, you broke, whatever. Braked way too early for that corner. So we can get up the inside here. No, he took it. Thankfully it's nice and dry for once, but as it said, it wasn't sure which way it was going to go. Whoa! That'll be intermediates on normal flooring. on a dry track rather. Flooring. I'm not playing Animal Crossing. Racetrack flooring, yes. I bet there is one. I finally made it past that one. See if I can get past the other one here. Nope, I got forced. He didn't give me enough space. They had a real clatter there in front of me. Let's get past those two before they start fighting each other into attrition. We'll hit the brakes about there. This is a very tight chicane, that one. The other guy in front went off, so I will take the Viper's position. And now we have this interesting sort of squared off double apex hairpin, which I've completely missed, but oh well. Yeah, for some reason the edges of that bit are squared off. I don't know what the point of that is. Good photo opportunity, I think, sitting in the corners. But I'll be doing that in this race. And that is one lap done. Not doing too badly. The other, the green R390 went off terribly there. So we'll try and make our way around them. Bit of touch, but oh well. Just about got it up the inside before they came in. And that'll be one of the... Is that the other Paynos in front of us? I'm not sure. I think it's the two Paynos now. No, the black one. I think it's a Paynos and then the black McLaren. And then the two R390s. I'm glad we're not doing that little dirt bit this time. Because that little dirt bit always confused me. Wouldn't really take these cars off on dirt. Talking about the snow stage later on. I don't think these cars will do well off-road either. I'm not going to try and get all three of them. Ride the entire of that big apex because I didn't really have anywhere else to go. Get past the Panos and the McLaren and see if we can get past this R390. And then the other one is miles away. Absolutely miles away. 126, but I'm not counting these laps yet because we've just had a lot of traffic. So I'm not gonna count these as lap attempts yet. This one might be clean though. See, I'm not on the soft or hard tyres. I'm on intermediates because we didn't know which way the weather's going to go. It's looking quite grey up there, but it hasn't gone to rain yet. I'll have to see what it's doing by lap 5 or 6 and see if I determine whether we should change or not. We might get an actual dry race this time though. That would be nice. It's certainly overcast up there. It's certainly not blue. This one's blue though. Let's go up the inside of him. Hit the brakes a little bit later. Take the chicane. And there we go. Lovely. No touching. No squeezing. We managed to get past without an incident. Brakes there. One apex. And actually, to be honest, it's not really much of a double apex, that one. It's more of an actual airpin. Airpin. Missing my H's. My dialect is failing me. Ooh, and that's a bit wide. But it's okay. I think he went a little bit wide as well. And somehow that was still a better lap time. I've only got 2.5 seconds for now, but that will go up. See if I can actually set a nice one now that I've not got to worry about overtaking. Although sometimes when you've got someone to catch up with, you do actually drive a bit faster. Because you've got someone to race. So you start thinking, right, where can I start make up time to catch up with them. I'm up on my time for now, but that's only the first sector. Rain! The rain has kicked in. That's 4 races in a row that we've had rain. Oh well. It's a very British championship. And it's immediately affected me. I just did not brake enough for that chicane. And that's cost me. Never mind. So when we go into the pits on lap 6 or 7, I will most definitely be swapping my tyres for the wets. Unless it stays about this wet, I'm not sure. But I imagine it's going to gradually get to the very wet stuff. Why on earth did I do that? I apologise. I applied all my braking way too early and decided the best thing to do was just drive along the grass. I'm losing it. I'm definitely losing it. I just like a race without rain. Never mind. Never mind. We'll still be fine. Getting some wet weather practice, I guess. For the final event, we're going to have even less grip when it comes to the snowy circuit, because we definitely don't get snow tyres in this game. Definitely not an option on the Mark cars. I'll try and record that championship tomorrow, and then we can have the championship section of this game somewhat complete, and we can start thinking about the actual main event, the Le Mans 24 Hours, which I am looking forward to. I'd have to do that in save states though if I want to do the whole thing, because there's no way I can sit here for 24 hours without developing severe back issues. I sound like I'm 80 years old or something. I'm not, but I just don't think I could stomach sitting here for 24 hours doing laps. I don't know how they do it in real life, but there's someone to swap out to. Technically, I'd be in the driver's seat for longer than actual Lemans drivers. Then again, the second driver is always available if the first one is unable to make it to the end of the course. If he ends up being fatigued and ends up, I don't know, having to leave the wheel for various circumstances. I'm sure that's happened before. Where they've had to wake up the first driver who was asleep and say, "Mate, you've got to go back out. The first driver's conked." Not in that respect, but you know, I'd hope not. If it was me, I'd say conked, but you know, maybe I shouldn't be a race informant. Nearly rear-ended the Porsche. He broke very early. Right, so we've started spraying through the water now. I'll go in for tyres this lap. I can do another lap on the fuel, but I'll swap the tyres now. We'll get the wets out. I will succumb to the weather. So we'll go into the pits, swap to wets, and we'll go to 80 fuel. Lots of people in the pits at the moment. This is the back end of the group. The lower end of the racers pitting in. So we'll have a few back markers to play with in a second. There we go. Wet tyres, 80 fuel, and we are off again to lap 7. Going quite well so far, to be honest. Quite enjoyed getting back into this game. As I've said before, I would definitely have enjoyed having this one as a kid, just for the fast cars and the sense of realism as it has. It does feel kind of arcadey now, but this one does feel like one of those games that tried to do realism in the 2000s. It was released on the PlayStation in 2002, so there was a couple of years between, and I imagine a couple of things will have been tweaked in the meantime. I don't think any new cars got added aside from the purple Formula 1 car, but I'll have to cover that at a different date. Would you mind awfully if I did a tiny video just about that Formula 1 car, just for the sake of driving it? I think that could be fun. And the inside of the Viper. Sorry, a little bit of a tap. In fact, a lot of a tap because he went off. Never mind. Again, they should really be giving me a gap because I am first place and they are back markers. So they should be thinking about giving me some space. Or at least getting out of the way. You know, I can't tell them what to do. They can't hear me and they're AI anyway. Ooh, the weather's really kicked in now. We had a lovely, I think it was even blue sky at the start of this race, but certainly not anymore. It is full on wet, but we have the wets on now, so we shouldn't struggle too much. I'm trying to find a different line to take this Porsche on, but cannot find a nice gap. Here, not quite. Bit of grass cutting, but past him, so that's okay. That's the Viper. That was a bit cleaner, thank you. And we'll get down this little straight towards the chicane. I can't even see the braking boards now. There's the braking boards. Oop, we've got to brake before that because he braked before that. Sounded like I broke one of my headlights, but I didn't. That was the right sound effect for that. So we'll pretend that I lost a headlight in that one. I definitely would have done. Get up the inside of these two. A bit more grass cutting. Sort of making up my own course line there. Apologies for that one. Let's see if we can get past this guy on these straights. Thank you. And then maybe I can get a clean lap in on the wet tyres. And actually set a good lap time. So I think the last time I set a nice lap time was around lap 3 or something. So let's see if I can improve. Definitely couldn't find the apex there, but that's because I can't really see now. It's too foggy. I can't really see where the course is. See it whilst I'm going uphill, but otherwise I can't really see where I'm going. I do know this course quite well now, though. A bit wide on that one. Brakes of that guy you can see from miles away, so at least I know there's one in front of me. Brakes around the 50 marker, well, before the 50 marker. Sugar, even before that, or even the 100 marker. Still green for the time though, so there's definitely more time to be found if I actually did that braking properly. There we go, around that one. That was not the apex, but oh well. Sort of a early to late. Never mind. Oh, it's the green R390. Lovely. See if I can hopefully not use him for slipstream, but you know. 121.7, that's a bit of an improvement. On the inside, I don't know if he went off then. I think he did, but I definitely didn't touch him. So it's just sort of preempting me going into him. I ate a bit of grass then, and it did kill on my speed, but it kind of slowed me down from the corner, so I don't really mind it too much. Yeah, we're up on our times. I did it again. Come on. Gotta get into the swing of things. That's okay. Do it on that one. Hopefully I'll still be up on my time by the time we get to the next one. I should be anyway, because I'm going to try and actually make this corner instead of just flying off the edge of the chicane. So hit the brakes around the 100 marker. About there. Yeah. In fact, that's a little bit early, but that's okay. Braking early is better than braking late. I'll take it. Brakes around there for that one. In fact, I can brake later for this one. Nearly skidded out then. I heard the slightly higher pitched note of losing the back end, but thankfully we did not. That is not where that apex is, and now we've gone wide. I threw it all the way up last corner. Never mind. Oh, that's it. I completely lost track. That's the end. I thought I had one more lap. Never mind. Lovely. I didn't even notice that was the last lap. Oh well. That'll be that one. My controller decided to pop in and out. Sorry about that. Not sure why that happened. Oh, the twin Nissans did not get 2 and 3. The Clown actually beat them. Interesting. So that messes up their points schedule. And last race. Catalonia GP. And it says it's going to go dry to wet. So I'll keep it on intermediates. I'm just going to check the recording just to make sure everything's still working. Yep, it's still sensing, so that's fine. So we'll be off into the last race. Greg with a 131. I doubt I'll be beating that, because I haven't beaten any of them yet, but it's there. Catalonia. For the last race. Acceleration in shoulder. Swap to the face button. Weave. Don't weave through those. I thought I had enough space to do that, sorry. I was going to weave through the two of them. There wasn't quite enough space. Never mind. We've gotten past them and a bunch of others anyway. Porsches are just... There's no point even going in the Porsches at this point. Whoa! Those guys did not take the corner correctly, as you can see by the Porsche making up 2 positions there. I had to lay off or else I'd smash into the back of one of the Vipers as well. There's definitely a divide here. There's the group of Porsches and Vipers, and then there's the rest of them with the Paynos, the McLarens, and the R390s. There's definitely 2 groups to this championship. which makes it a bit more interesting. I mean, it's what happened in real life. It's also what happens in the Japanese Japanese Super GT. It was called Touring Car Championship beforehand, but currently it's now Super GT. But yeah, there's 2 groups in that as well, so it just makes things a little bit more interesting, because you end up with weaving through the much slower GT300 class with the GT500 cars. Need to get back to racing that. I think I mentioned that in the last video as well, but I've not quite got round to watching that season yet. Well, I'm looking forward to that season. I don't think it's actually published yet, I'm not sure, I've forgotten. A lot of things with games have been happening recently and I've been distracted. Mainly with finding more stuff that's potential for the channel rather, like with Richard Burden's and that. Looking forward to that game when I finally get to the point of driving it well. Right, so we're caught up to the first group now. Let's see if I can get past the R390. Can I do him on the inside here? Yep, that's fine. Thank you. I always thought it was silver on the front, but now it's sort of black. I guess that's just the lighting though. If I remember correctly, this is the circuit which I kept on spinning out on in the Audi R8C. The sort of streamlined, very sleek looking Audi. Yeah, if I remember correctly, I span out like 2 or 3 times in that race. Just could not drive that car. Don't know what it was, but it felt very, very rear tail happy, as it were. Anyway, let's see if I can catch up to these 2 Panos and get past them without any incidents. Because if anyone's going to go after me, it's the Panoses, the double trouble Panos twins. Let's see if I can squeeze past here. They got past the R390. The McLaren went off, and we're past everyone. And we'll try and take the Panos on the straight. I'll stay behind him for now, and I'll try and take him on the straight rather than trying to get him through that corner. He wiggled over. Okay. And then we've just got the R390 to go. And then we'll be in the front. We'll be in first. Brakes there. Can't really tell where. Whoa! Don't know why that happened. Don't know why I lost it then. Careful. Lost a couple of positions, but we'll get them back. Don't know why I span out then. It's the curse of this course. I don't think it was the Audi specifically, I think it was the course itself that I just spin out at. Maybe I just don't like Catalunya that much. On the outside of this one. Or not. He's going to force me. Mate, I need some space. I'm still beside you. I need some space. Thank you. I need some space. It's still forcing me off. Rain. Right, we're past the black one. Goodness me, that was difficult. Right, the rain has started falling. This is the final race. So all 5 races have been rainy. It's been a true British championship. Don't mind. Pass him. And the other R390 went off by itself. And I will take the lead. Phew. Difficult. I mean, I've got it with enough time, obviously. I've got another 6 laps to go. But it was tricky to get to. Wow, that set in quick. That went dark quick. Wow, see the change there? It's gone foggy already. Wow. That really shifted quickly. Blimey. Right. Well, I shall pit in, not this time around, but the time after that. And we'll swap to the wet tyres then if it's going to go that dark that quickly. Blimey, where did that blow in from? We've got a tropical storm just comes in from nowhere. I think that's the quickest I've ever seen the rain set in. It went very dark, very quickly. I visibly saw it in the car's reflection and everything. Oh dear. At least it's not the ridiculous winds that we've been having recently. I don't think wind is really simulated in this game. Yeah, I could do without having 3 or 4 named storms come all at once. Thank you. That dates this recording, but oh well. Get round here. I think this is the corner that I keep on failing to find the apex at, because it just swings out wide. Or is it this one? I don't know. So we'll go past the pits this time around, but next time we're gonna pit in and get the wets out for the last time. 1:37.5. So we're still miles off that time. Brakes. No one's pitted in yet, so they'll probably pit in next time around as well, to be honest. See if the group of lower class cars end up pitting in. One car by itself in between those two groups, and I have reason to believe that it's the green R390. Don't know what it is about that one, but that one seems to be a slight bit slower than us, but a lot quicker than the others. Never mind. I did drive that one in the previous championship, because I didn't have the blue ones available and I was just happy to have an R390, and it seemed okay to me. It didn't seem to be down on performance, so I don't know. I should imagine it's a little bit slower. A group of them has pitted in. I'd be interested to see which ones. I presume that's all the Porsches, I'm not sure. Funny if all the Porsches pit in and all the Vipers pit in on the next lap. Not sure why that had happened. Different fuel intake or different wear on the tyres. That's a bit wide. Never mind. Yeah, we'll be pitting in this time around, and I'll hit the brakes so as not to do my Tony Hawks across the side. Just roll it in. Change to wet, we'll have 80, yeah, we'll have 80 fuel, because I'm not dying for fuel at the moment. Thankfully I have a second drink on standby as well, because I've run out of coffee, but that's okay. I can't really go and make another one during the race, that would be a bit silly of me. Controller popped out again, sorry about that. Assume it's still assigned to the game, so that's okay. We'll find out if it doesn't accelerate whilst we're driving out of here. The connection between the controller and the console itself is not exactly perfect. It is accelerating, but fine. Old tech. You gotta love it sometimes. Hit the brakes here. Now we're on wet tyres on a wet circuit, and we'll see if we can set some decent lap times now. I don't know why, but I mean, it seems obvious that you want wet tyres for a wet circuit, but it seems to be better wet for wet than dry for dry, which makes little sense to me. But oh well. Obviously we're down on our lap time for this one because we spent about 45 seconds in the pit, but you know, that's how things go. So I've lost the lead now because, yeah, I've lost the lead, yeah. I've lost the lead because I went into the pits, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue because I imagine they will pit on the, on this lap, if not the next one. They've got to pit in at least once. The other group did pit in. Wow, their arrow did a real wiggle then. I think they're losing grip actually. Yeah, they've their arrow is really slowed down. Yeah, they pitted in, that's okay. That was a bit funny. They definitely lost some grip whilst they were driving. They've pitted in. And we will go past and take the lead. Lovely. That's 2:04, which is definitely not a good time, but we'll see if we can set a good one now. We've got no one in the way, so it's just me and the track. We've got 3 laps with which to set a nice time. I hope I can set a nice time anyway. We'll see. Been a good championship though, I've quite enjoyed it. It's been nice to get back into this game. And hopefully I can find another slot soon to finish off the championship section of this game. And then we'll move on to the main event, the Le Mans races themselves. I'll definitely do the 10-minuter. I'll do the half-hour one. I'll do the 1-hour one. But I'm not sure about the 6-hour or the 24. We'll have to see how things land. Those might be very much in the future. Maybe not even this year, I have no idea. But we'll see. We'll see if I get a nice gap of time. I may actually get interrupted this lap because we've got back markers now. We've got all the Vipers to contend with. Yeah, and I've lost the back end. This is going to ruin my lap now, unless I can get past him cleanly. I did. I had to take a fun line. Can I get past these? Yes, I can. Okay, we're still on for a good lap. It's not edited my line too much. 1:33.3. Okay. We'll get a little bit of slipstream off that guy, which will help us. Brakes, and we'll see if we can get past these guys somewhat cleanly. No. I had to take the outside, so that will have scuffed that time. Never mind, a 1:33.3 is quite nice. I think we're only going to have lap. We'll get past the rest of these on this lap, and then we'll have laps 9 and 10 with which to set a nice time. Bit of a scrape there, but whatever. Yeah, we're down on this lap because of having to overtake all of those. But that's alright. What hit the brakes? And yeah, we'll spend laps 9 and 10 just trying to get a nice lap time. Go a bit wide there. So yeah, the longest race in this championship was the first one, the Suzuka GP. Kind of funny, really. We've gone from longest to shortest. You'd expect it to go the other way around, ramping up the difficulty, as it were. But no, we didn't. We went the other way. That's how I would have built it anyway, but I don't know. We are now at the point where we're carving through the water, so we are fully wet. Don't spin the car out on the straight, that would be embarrassing. That was a best? Wow. Even though I had to weave through the cars. Right, so there's definitely room for improvement. Now again, I've got no cars in the way. Did lose the back end there, but I corrected it. Yeah, it's just me and the track again, so I'll see if I can actually get something decent this time. I won't beat the record, I'm likely to anyway. I don't even know if beating the record during a championship actually awards you the car or not. I have seen that the time trial times are on an unlock list. I've seen the progress sheet. I don't really know what you unlock for them. I think one of the R390s, no, one of the GT1s is in there. Just the base red one rather than the red and white sort of, not zebra striped, but it's very stripy and teary. If it was wearing one of those full body vinyls from Underground 2, it would definitely be called the Stripes. Definitely be in that category. You know the one I mean, the very stripy GT1. I think that was the one driven by Tsuchiya, I'm not sure. My brain is failing me yet again. Anyway, we set a nice time. 33 dead, right. So we're literally 2 seconds off. I don't know if I can make 2 seconds anywhere, probably not in the wet. I can easily assume that these record times are all set in whatever the fastest car in this game is, but with a little bit of leeway just to make it possible by, your better than average Lemans driver to beat. They've got to be possible after all. Or else why would they put cars in? We are up on our time again though. We might set a best lap as our last lap. Oh yeah, lap 10, final lap. Lap 50 of this video. You've managed to survive through 50 laps of me rambling about old games and other nonsense and theme parks and that. Well done. I've managed to survive myself talking. Up on our times again, good. Nearly under a minute on that one. Just barely. So if I can keep this one together, this will be an improvement. It does look like I'm going to come to one back marker though. A little bit wide there. A little bit wide, lost a little bit of ground. Let's see if I can get around this one. Fuel low, didn't think about that. I wasn't even paying attention, but that's okay, because we are now finished. Just gotta get to the finish line, and there we go. Just slightly slow on that time. Yay! We did it! 50 laps. 5 races, 10 laps in each, and we're still alive. That was quite enjoyable. I enjoyed that. That was a good session of driving, actually. Enjoyed that quite a lot. Lovely. Okay, lovely. And we'll see the final standings. So it was, well, the other Nissan really fell behind in that one. So that puts them to 50 points for me, 24 and 23 for them guys. And there we go, championship completed. So there is another one of those swirly trophies. GTC competition did quite well for me. Quite like that car. And we win the Pilot Racing LMP prototype car, and the other R8C, number 9. I believe the other one was number 8, not sure. Lovely, there we go. And there we have it, that is another championship complete. Lovely stuff. And so, for the, not the last episode, but the last championship, we're going to be doing Winter Challenge, which I can only assume is going to be covered in snow. I've no idea. We'll have to see next time. But until then, thank you for sticking with me through about an hour and a half to 2 hours of racing, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.